Palestinian firefighters worked to extinguish a fire in a building hit by an Israeli attack in Khan Younis, southern Gaza Strip. Israel launched airstrikes on Gaza on Saturday, killing dozens of people and sending hundreds of injured to overflowing hospitals. According to health officials in the region, some of attacks targeted southern Gaza Strip, where Israeli army had instructed civilians to avoid shelling, underscoring fact that there was no safe place to shelter in Gaza. Videos published from the southern city of Khan Younis show buildings engulfed in flames after the Israeli attack. Local media reports showed videos of rescue teams and civilians pulling people out of the rubble by hand, using flashlights and cell phones. Others show patients being treated on bloody hospital floors. On Wednesday, UN Secretary-General António Guterres invoked a rarely used rule that allows him to bring to attention of the Security Council matters that may threaten maintenance of international peace and security. Mr. Guterres argued that ceasefire was necessary because of the suffering of ordinary Palestinians in Gaza and risk that a humanitarian catastrophe there would threaten world stability. 2 months of Israeli air and ground assaults on the besieged Gaza Strip have killed at least 15,000 people and perhaps thousands more. According to the Gaza Health Ministry, Palestinian leaders and Arab countries say Israel's military action is a wildly disproportionate response to October 7. America's veto of the ceasefire stunned many Gazans who had hoped for an end to the airstrikes and their suffering. The Biden administration, Israel's closest ally, began warn that Israeli army was not doing enough to prevent harm civilians in Gaza. A day before the ceasefire vote in Security Council, people were optimistic that the war could end, said local journalist Mohammed al-Masri in the southern Gaza town of Rafah. We thought for the last few days that America would stop this and give Israel a period of time to end the war, he added. Mr. al-Masri currently lives in a tent camp where winter rains have flooded people's small shelters. He said that on Saturday, Israel fired 2 rockets near the shelter where we were staying and many people were killed and injured. The Israeli army did not respond to requests for comment on reports that it targeted Rafah after calling for refuge in Gaza civilians. Ahmed al-Qayed, a 31-year-old carpenter, said he hoped UN would find a solution to conflict so he and his family could return to Gaza City in north of region. Mr. al-Qayed said that he, his wife and children, along with thousands of other displaced people, were living in a dilapidated tent in Rafah where the most basic needs, such as access to a bathroom, were often unavailable. Tell America we want to return home, he said. What is our fault? He said there was a shortage of everything in Gaza, including food and blankets. Like hundreds thousands of others, they depended